Hi everyone! How are you? I'm going to say happy holidays right off the bat to all the wonderful muselings who have jumped into the chat ahead of time. I love seeing this chat. This chat makes me smile. Sure enough, we have people going at least a half hour beforehand. Just going to turn the music down slightly, ever so much. So, yeah, it's been a crazy week with me for weather reasons, which is why I had to cancel on Wednesday because I had things I needed to get done because, you know, holidays, Christmas shopping, all that fun stuff. But really so great to see everyone in the chat already. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be the last stream of 2019. What? It's going to be the new year when I come back to you. So yes, today I'm going to be looking at the rest of those WizKids minis from the Volos and Mordenkainen box set from the Icons of the Realm that we unboxed. Well, technically 3 of them because I opened up one ahead of time and then 2 with you here. So I thought let's get those guys finished up. You can see how you can take these pre-painted minis, give them a little zhuzhing, and create something that you can be proud to put on your table and also get you comfortable with working with miniatures in and of itself. I like to use this as sort of a gateway introduction for people on how to get into painting minis. So we'll take a look at those guys. Now, let me explain this. This is Gothmas Tree. Okay, this is what I ran upstairs to get set up. This is my little Gothmas tree. Not too tall, not too big, all 18 inches of it. For me, Christmas is one of those things where I have a couple of past memories attached to it where I just was in a funk this year because anniversaries are coming up for that stuff. And friends of mine started joking about how they aren't doing a traditional Christmas tree either. In fact, they're doing like a Halloween theme one, and this is the Birdiesaurus and McClokin over on Twitter. So those two got into it. And then Dan Dillon threw in the, like, make it a Gothmas tree. So I was like, you know what? I'm making myself a Gothmas tree. So I've done this little tree up. It's got ornaments on it, and it has different meanings to it, and it's got more like this witchy feel to it just because I love the language of flowers and plants. And so it has mistletoe, well, not real stuff, but mistletoe, holly, and fern, and they all have different meanings to them, which off the top of my head I can't recall, but it just turned into one of those things where it became a tree of new memories, which was kind of refreshing, and I like it. And this is actually by my bedside at night. It has this pretty purpley glow at night because these are purple lights, but this is my Gothmas tree. Okay, instead of my Christmas tree, it's my Gothmas tree. And our Christmas tree is upstairs for the kids and everything. We just haven't put ornaments on there yet because it turns out that the cats, Rory especially, she's going to take those ornaments and run away with them. So today I figured we could put some of the bigger ornaments on there, the plastic bigger ornaments. And it's one of those things where we'll have fewer days to have to play Find the Ornament That Rory Stole, which will be our Christmas game for the holidays, I guess. Anyways. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year to everyone. I truly am blessed. There's that advisory. I'm blessed that you guys spend this time with me every single week, and I'm looking forward to bringing you some more fun stuff in the new year. And let's see here. Oh yes, these, like my new elf ears, these came from my lovely patron Scott. He surprised me with them last week, and I am in love with them. Get used to seeing these when I do my DM stuff on Kobold Press, because these are like perfect for that. They're still a little small for Cantriel, because Cantriel is a big personality and needs her big ears, but yeah, you'll be seeing a lot more of these. Let's see, Mac Attack, have you ever rebased minis on clear acrylic bases to blend? Yes, do it. It's fun. I did that for a few scatter pieces actually too. So if you have a smaller scatter piece you want to use in different terrain, if you put it on a clear base, it's so much easier that way. But yeah, I have done that, and I recommend it. It's a cool thing. So let's jump from there. Speaking of bases and everything like that, could I make a small Christmas village? Not this year. If you're looking to commission me for next year, maybe, but definitely not this year. So this was our, what were you called again? The Ogre Battering Ram guy. So he's the one who came in, and basically it was a matter of, here we go, let's get you in focus. Did a wash on him with Agrax, brought out a lot more details that way, let him dry. Then went through and I just did some highlighting with, I believe we used khaki, but just with some lighter paints to bring out the musculature a little bit more. Did the same thing on the loincloth area and the bandages. I let the Agrax seep into and really play up those things. And basically you're seeing how more of the detail's been brought out. He's not so flat looking. Same thing with the battering ram itself. Did some Nun oil on there, and I'm quite pleased with now you can see the details more. But he had this massive base, and I thought, you know what, let's give the base a little bit more oomph because of it. But again, this is one of those pre-painted deals. I don't want to put too much time into this. I just want to kind of amp it up a little bit more. So I went back in and I used my textured paint from Vallejo. And what color is this one? This one is the Dark Earth. So I used this guy on the base, and then I threw in the Army Painter Tufts. This isn't the same color, but these kinds of tufts. I pulled out two different colors, more of like a dry, wintry, or arid type of looking grass. And I just did clusters on the base. Now, always, this is an interior design tip. Whenever you work with groupings, you want to work in odd groupings. Groups of 3 tend to be the most pleasing to the eye, which is why you see 3 groupings with 3 tufts, although one of the tufts looks like a bigger one because I shoved them close together. So that's what I ended up doing with this guy, and it does change his look completely from just being a basic mini fresh from the box to something a little bit more intimidating, and ta-da! So again, you really can take these lovely pre-painted ones and just amp them up a little bit without even having to strip them in full. You can strip them. I have done that. I actually did it with a lot of BB's Place HeroClick ones that I got. But you can, this would probably take about a half hour tops once you get dry time going in there, and look what you get. So if it's one of those things where you need something on the table faster sooner because you have a game faster and sooner than you expected, this is definitely the way to go. This is also the guy who started the whole Monsters High School, what was it, clicks and what do we call it? I'm blanking on it. But this is what started up that hysterical conversation last week that I absolutely loved and that Jake and I are chatting about. Need skulls. I know. I was thinking about skulls too. I have to find them. We've been reorganizing stuff, and I think I placed them in too safe of a place. Probably thinking Halloween isn't until next year now. I should be good. Derp. Yeah, I do want to add a couple skulls there. I might even see if I can find like some cool different shaped skulls and just kind of put them around his feet. But for now, I'm happy with how he looks just as is, and I'm comfortable spraying him up with some of that Mod Podge Ultra to seal everything, and then he can be put on the table. So he's definitely officially done, as is this guy, which the colors are showing up a lot better this time. So this was just gray when it came out of the box, completely gray. So what I did is I went in and I dry brushed on a taupe color as well as a very bluish gray, and then let that dry. Did a quick dry brush with it was called Winter White, just to get the edges, and then I did a washes, I should say. I used Agrax as well as camo. What do you call it again? It's the camo one. Hold on, it's right here. This one, the Anthonian camo shade. Yoink. So I put some of this on, I put some of the Agrax on from Citadel, and let the two just sort of blend in different areas and stuff. So you get like this more murky coloring of greens and then some browns, but you still get all of those edge details, and all of this wasn't really showing itself that much. So it's one of those things where you can even take a simple trapper, this is the trapper, and amp him up a little bit just by doing a couple sweeps of a brush with different colors and then putting your washes on top, letting it dry, and ta-da! So that's another thing I took care of from that pack. And then, this is the Woodwode. Really all I did with him was go back in and I took a very light brown, dry brushed all over, and I did a sepia, Seraphim sepia wash. And now you can see all the details. We were not getting all this fun little vine work and everything. It just looked more like a nubby brown object. But now we get to see everything, and this was very little effort. This guy you could quickly fix up and take care of easily 10 minutes. Again, just make sure your dry time's included in there. And if you go to use a hair dryer, remember, don't use it on high. Don't hold it close to the miniature because you're going to melt it, or you're going to make it do funny things. Don't do that. You don't want to do that. So this is the Woodwode. All set, ready to go. Again, I need to seal these all up, which I'll do. We also had our Tipsy friends. I don't know if you remember them, but they look like Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal, but in reverse. So we had this fellow. This one is the Knoll Pack Leader. He was, if we saw him on camera, he was actually leaned back this drastically from the base. And that was a matter of, I showed you how putting it into boiling water, letting it sit, and then shifting it over to cold water, you can get it straightened back up. And I always recommend give it a few days before you start tweaking around with these, just in case the plastic goes back into its memory mode. Did not with this fellow. He is still standing nice and upright. And actually, his paint job isn't that bad. I was looking at him like, you know what? This is decent enough. So I'm going to show you how just putting some Nuln oil on him is going to make a huge difference. Because again, I'm keeping in mind, this is just little touch-ups. This isn't drastic redo. However, I will say the sculpt of this one is fantastic. I love the details they have on here. This could be one, if you wanted to strip down completely, you really could give this a great custom paint job because of these details they've included with him. I mean, look at the folds in the back here and everything like that, and the chainmail detail and the shoulders. There's a lot going on. So this could be one of the ones where I'd say, you know what? Yeah, give him his quick little strip down and then paint it as you see fit for yourself, for your own campaign, or for whatever it is you need, if you need to customize it more to colors. We also had the, I can never say this one, the Moresi, I think it's Moresi, straightened out, and this one was also a drastic lean. It leaned back a little bit from how I had it originally because I pushed it forward, but that was on purpose. And sure enough, it did what I thought it was going to do. It ticked back just a little bit, but it's actually back to where I need it to be. So you will get a feel for when it's time to push it over correct mode, because some of the plastics you just get a certain feel for it, like, this one's going to lean back a little bit more without trying. So that's what I did with this one. And that one, again, it's now sitting at a position where I'm like, okay, this one's fine. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go through, and I think with this one, just because it's so pale, I'm actually going to go in with Agrax. So a full Agrax wash on this, a full Nuln on this one. And that way you can see how the two different washes do two different things just because of the tones and the different colors you have. So let's do Nuln on him first. And then always, because I do love my Citadels. I'm a Citadel wash girl. It's just the way it is, folks. Do be sure, do, to get these lovely bases. You can find these on Thingiverse. There are some with different styles, but I like this 6-pointed star style the best. I find it most stable. So if you have access to a 3D printer or know someone who does, and you need these, get them. They really do save you from spilling washes big time. Just checking in on the chat right now. Yes, GameWorks does have a bunch of skulls and stuff. If you haven't seen that yet, the thing's ridiculous. I have a collection of rando skulls and whatnot from, taking apart stuff. It sounds really creepy, but I have a little bin of this is going to sound bad. I have a little bin of random skulls and bones from chopped up, this is never going to sound good, from chopped up skeletons and stuff from minis gone by type of thing. I just need to find it and then I can add in those fun little details. All right, where is my Vorsh brush? Oh, Vorsh brush. Did the kitten steal it again? She's very good at that. Oh, there it is. I put it in my terrain set as opposed to my mini set. Hello, Base Hunter, and thank you very much. I thought it'd be nice to get all seasonally. So I did the red shirt and I'm an elf. See, I'm an elf. All right, so back to this one. Oh, and by the way, for those who are sending me recommendations for mini holders, thank you. I do have things that I use. It's just I default to hands. It's just the way it works better for me. I appreciate the recommendations, but I don't necessarily use the fancy holders and stuff because I'm contrary, I guess. I like to hold on to the bases. All right, so this is the Knoll before. You know what? Let me take a picture. Let's do that. We're going to take a picture of Mr. Knoll. That way we can have a nice little side-by-side. All right, so I got to move. All right, we're getting a picture of you. Let's get better lighting. Okay, so this is before. Now we'll get the wash on him, and then I can show you the after. Before and after photos. I'll put them up on Twitter and on Facebook, especially because that way you guys can see it better. So same thing that you've seen me do beforehand is I'm going to put this starting at the top. Already. Look at the detail on that skull that was not being shown before. Like I said, this mini is rocking details. It's just not popping out because he needs one last wash. But it'd also be a great mini for if you want to strip and paint of your own accord. Because look there's the face now. They really have some great details, these minis. They do. It's just they need a little extra TLC, which if you know how to do it, will take no time at all. If you're interested in starting to do it, this is the type of mini to try it on, quite frankly. It'll give you a sense of how the washes work. You don't have to worry about screwing up your own paint job if you're hesitant about that. And I'm just moving the wash around a little bit. Really trying to make sure it goes into the recesses of the chainmail because that's even deeper than I realized. Look at that. Look at how deep that chain link is. That's awesome for the chainmail. Seriously. Knolls are fun to play with. I agree. I have personally fought a couple times in different campaigns the Knolls, and whew, some of them can be pretty darn hefty. I have yet to use them as a DM, but I've enjoyed fighting them as a player. I will say that for sure. So again, I'm just moving this Nuln oil around, and again, we now have these awesome folds coming out, which we weren't getting before. Hello, Cal! Oh, let me get the other arm before I forget. Get his shoulder going. Remember, just keep moving that around and pushing it where it needs to be. You can go back in with your brush and pick up puddles if you're finding it's puddling in a couple spots, and that happens. It absolutely happens with washes. Good grief, this axe is so long. There we go. All right, moving it down. Making sure I get into here. Get the other foot. I'm going to do a little bit more up here on his skull area, his hat. Hello, Dustins and Dragons. I really know what I'm talking about. Yuck, 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 yuck. Thank you very much. That was a good pun. Well punned. Yes, all these monsters need... Sometimes all a monster need is just a good dip. But remember, not the Roger Rabbit dip. That would be a bad dip. Just move this around a little bit more over here. Right now what I'm doing is I'm working this. This is actually quite deep as well, detail-wise. So I'm working it more in by poking it. I really want to make sure that wash gets into the recesses because that's helping to show things off. Look at that. Now we're getting a lot more detail on him because of the wash. So I'm going to let him dry. I mean, even the face alone is now popping. Look at that. See what I mean? These sculpts have some awesome details. Hello, Fellowship of the Tables. I missed you last night. Felt weird not to do Dawnbringers. I don't know. I have Cantrell kind of like simmering at the surface, getting mad. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, I want to come out and play. It's been a while. I'm going to get feisty. Careful. First game back, she might be exceedingly feisty. Okay, so I'm going to put the Nuln away, and then I'm going to jump over to an Agrax so you can see what happens to him when you use just the Agrax. I definitely want you to be able to see the difference of what the shadings do side by side. I will default sometimes more often to Agrax first to see if I like how it looks. Sometimes I might go back in with Nuln later in different spots to really enhance things a little bit more if I want to. Hello, Grayson. Thank you for stopping by. I'm just going to take a quick look at the chat. How are we doing? I think I've caught up with everyone. If I've missed something that you said and it was a question, feel free to repeat it. All right, now for this loveliness, it's got an ugly face. So I'm going to start at the top, get it into the face, but look at that already. Woo-hoo-hoo. Those are details I bet you didn't know about. This is Christmas music. Hold on. Snowballs and angels. We shall see. All right, so I'm going to start moving this Agrax around. And all this detail you didn't know was there comes out to play. Hooray! And again, for this one, I'm just going to do the wash. I'm not going to go back in and do too much detail work on it. It's got enough on its own with a sculpt where this is ready to get tossed on the table once the wash dries and you'll be pretty good. But you could very much, if you wanted to, go back in and strip this down and repaint it. All of these have a lot of details. Hello, Alex M. Agrax is magic in a bottle, and especially for those starting out and getting a feel for things, use these washes to your advantage. It's always good. Okay? So now, it's funny, I can see it more on the camera than I can IRL, where I need to just sort of move it around a little bit. You don't want it to puddle up too much. You want it to be there, but you don't want it to swim in it. Do I usually base my minis? It depends on the mini. I will do basing on different minis and stuff. Some I go super detail. Some I will keep more simple, depending on the mini itself. For the big baddies, I do tend to go more all out. All right, I'm going to call it a day on the wash for this one, so let this one dry too. That's with the Agrax, okay? And then once those two are dry, I'll show you how Nuln shows off and Agrax shows off. It's a good side-by-side for if you want to just go through and literally just do a wash and then call it done. It's also a helpful trick for these pre-painted if you want to get something to pop a little bit more. How do I maintain such a high energy level? I don't know. Tea. Lots of tea. And I'm very good at cat naps, too. I can take a 15-minute nap and kind of zing back up again. Not always, but I can. For the most part. Although lately I've been crashing so hard at night, it's not even funny. Let me see here. So I could actually quickly show you. I'll show you one of the big baddies where I did like a major mini basing. One moment, please. And then we're going to talk about this one, which is the Venom troll. So this is who we're going to work on next. But let me get the other one so I can show you the bigger. All right, so this is a big baddie, and it's one that was off of Thingiverse. I literally believe the search file on it is Tentacled Monster, is what it's going to be. Let me just shift this one over. Yeah, everyone has sort of their own takes on how they want to do the washes too. So this is a tentacle monster that I painted up on from our 3D printer printout. This is actually all plaid product except for the wash, which was the Nightshade, right? Yeah, Drakenhof Nightshade that I did as an ender. But the base, I went all out for sure. Because it's such a cool mini itself. It's big too. I didn't want to leave it just me, plain base. Hi, Kentucky Fried Gamers. I'm sorry, I will always say your name. And hello, Mixonovitsky. I think I'm trying. So with this guy, I went in and I actually picked up real rocks from outside in my garden. I used hot glue and just some acrylic paints to create a really murky, swampy look to it. And then I have all these great aquarium plants that I just took and mixed. And then, no, this is PLA printout, not resin. And these are just aquarium plants that I find when you take little snippets and mix them together and cluster them. Again, thinking of those groupings of odd numbers, 3s, 5s, 7s, 9s, you get a really cool layout. So this is a base that I really went ham on because of the mini itself. I wanted it to have something with more of a heft to it. But then I will have minis where it's just the same black base that'll come with WizKids or other minis like that. Or I'll do other bases that have detail on them and I'll paint those bases up and attach them to the mini. I've done that too. It really just sort of depends on the mini itself, quite frankly. Sometimes I look at them and I'm like, you need a little bit more love than the others. I'll give you some extra basing work. And sometimes I just look down like, nope, you're good. You're good to go. Let's go. Chugga chugga. Thinking about doing some playing around with paper foam terrain with the kids next year. Sure, have fun with it that way. Yeah, aquarium plants are fantastic. The resolution lines. That's because a lot of times what I'll do is I'll go in with a Mod Podge base mix and I get it to work in and it helps hide a lot of the linear striations. I've found, especially with the bigger prints. It's a huge help. Hello. So, this is our Venom troll, who initially was more browns than anything else. And I went in and I used the Beal Green from Citadel to give it more of the creepy, this is what I wanted. I wanted like a creepy greenish yellowy look to it. Because when I think of Venom, I think of a little bit more of an intense color. I also went back through and I painted pavement. That sounds weird. The color pavement onto the loincloth area because there was a huge bit that was missing underneath here that I wanted to catch. So did that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to take care of the skin. I also touched up some of the hair because the end pieces were green. So I touched that up a bit as well. But this troll is going to have a lot of ooey gooey creepiness added to it. What I want to do is go in with the yellow and really bring out these boils. I'm going to do a quick dry brushing with a brighter, more vivid light green, again, to enhance the details that we have going on here. And then we'll play around a little bit more. And this got a belly. This has a belly for sure. But it's got some really cool details to it that we're hiding underneath all the brownish, greenish tones that sort of all merge themselves together. Oh, by the way, patrons, I am starting to get the dice out. We've had winter weather, which is befuddling things. So I try not to mail everything out all at once because, oh, I need a paper plate. I have a mail post person who gets a little flustered when I do more than like 10 at a time. So I try and go in waves. So I got the first wave in. Second wave, not so much because we got like an inch of ice. So yeah, that was fun. That was actually not fun. So I'm going to try and get out another wave this afternoon if I manage to finish the stream. Let's get that out so it's not flaring on you. If I manage to finish the stream, I'm hoping at 1:30. Yeah, we should be done around 1:30ish, the latest. And then head over to post office and get the second wave out. And then one more, hopefully, if not tomorrow, then on Monday. So you will be getting your second edition dice throughout the new year, especially those in Europe. You'll be getting yours definitely New Year mode just because of the timing. I'm good, but thank you, Mike. So I'm going to go in first and I'm going to do the dry brushing to bring out the folds and textures of the skin. And for that, I am using, this is where their names and what we're using these for is going to get funny, Limeade. All right, so I'm going to use Limeade first. And it's just this awesome, vivid green, which I wanted. Yeah, Mike, if you want to share it in the chat, by all means, I'm going to work with what I got going on the table. So same thing with dry brushing. Pull off until you get an almost dry brush. And I'm going to go through and just pull against, work my way from the bottom up, so to speak, and really get this skin. Now I'm being very light-handed with this because I don't want to overwhelm it, but I do want to bring out some of those folds a little bit more. Oh, he's got such a grungy face. I will go back in and do more on the teeth too, because I want to give those teeth a ooky look. But right now I'm just very lightly taking my brush and focusing on enhancing the face a little bit more, because there are details that are kind of murked away just from the colors. Oh, I didn't take a before picture. Whoops. Oh well. We have it live on camera, the transformation, right? Because there are some actual really cool brow folds. I'm just... Remember, go lightly first. It's easier to put a little bit on and add more than to start too ham and try and take away. Alright, I'm much happier with that. Look at that face. Talk about a face only a mother could truly love. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me get a little bit more over here on these higher bits. Oh, he's so grungy. Pauly Shore reference all the way. Alright, definitely liking this color combination better because we're seeing more of these details. See, just by shifting the tone of the green, we're suddenly getting more details on them, which I like. Do. Okay, let me keep going with this. I'm still using the limeade. Wait till you hear the other color. That always cracks me up. I might gonna, how do you like my English? I am going to jump to a smaller brush now that I'm looking at things. So I'm jumping down to another brush that I have. This is one of those plaid brushes that they sent me, and I love these because of the chisel tip. You get a lot more control work. And then back into it, back to work. Reason why I like the chisel tip is because I can get in closer and still dry brush without jumping into other areas as much. And just keep spinning around, and there's all this awesome texture. I'm just being very careful because I am by the hair. Get a little bit more of this on there. There we go. Now I'm doing the dry brushing first over the boils, because the boils and goils, because it helps me see where more of these boils are hiding, which sounds disgusting, but it's true. I'll definitely work this around here now. Work on that bicep muscle a little bit more. Here we go. Now we're getting places. Oh, and don't forget, tonight, I'm going to be over on Nerdarchy. We're doing our RPG Crate Season 4, Episode 3, I want to say. Yeah, I think we're 3rd levels now. And I get to play my Pyro Kitty. She's so much fun. She really is. Excellent, Shannon. Glad to hear you using reference photos. Those truly, truly help make a difference. All right, let me get the hand going here. Let me lend you a hand there, darling. Yeah, I'm much, much happier seeing this green come onto the body. It's just adding to the more... in my mind's eye, I had more of a reptilian-esque look to the skin. Almost like snakes, water snakes. Does that make sense? Swamp water snakes, because of the whole Venom factor. Which is why I wanted to shift from the duller browns. Oops, keep it in frame. Switch from the duller browns to a more green palette. And I am definitely liking that more. See, that gives you a sense of all these details now coming out between the wash from the Beal green and then going in with the limeade green. Just between, like, looking at the belly and the top. Okay? There you go. Spread the subs. Gave me a hankering for custard donuts. Well, okay then. Too funny. I need to go out and I need to buy the ingredients to make monkey bread. Monkey pull bread? Who's familiar with that one? That's a tradition that I like to do with the kiddos. Just make it Christmas Eve and nosh on it. And then we'll have some for breakfast in the morning. That's definitely a little tiny family tradition I have going with my boys. Doing the same thing here now. I'm going onto the back. Getting those high points. Bringing out the boils. The boils on this one. Oh my god. Oh, I am so much liking this color combination a lot better. It's just got this edgy, creepy look going on now. It looks more venomous. Yeah, it's good stuff. I have to be careful how I make it because I need to make it with certain ingredients, but it is fun. Yeah, I have not ventured out into the snow, icy weather quite yet. It's gotten better where I am, although I think we're having a high of 18 today. So the ice is stubbornly sticking around for a lot longer because of the cool weather that we're keeping. But trust me, I'm trying to make a point of traveling during the day, not at night. And if there's any precipitation that isn't snow, I try and stick at home or close to home type of thing. Really, I do. I love my Subi. My Subi Forester treats me very well. But can only do so much with a 4-wheel drive, which some people forget. That's just it. I wanted putrid. I wanted grody. I wanted this slimy bleh. If I'm shuddering, I know I did what I wanted to get done. So, but yeah, come and join us on Nerdarchy tonight. We get started at 8. It's myself, Jake, Megan, and Asa. And it's Mike. I think Mike too. We shall see. And Ted is our DM. Nerdarchist Ted is our DM. And I love my Circle of Wildfire Tabaxi Druid. She is a flippin' riot to play. She's completely based off of Rory. Let me bring that back up. People laugh, but it's true. I basically sit there thinking like, well, how would Rory react to this? Let's do that. And that's pretty much it. Grayson, you've already asked me that question. The answer is no. Christmas Village, not this year. Yeah, let me get a little bit in the arm here. There we go. That needed some TLC too. And carefully inside the hand. And that'll be nice because I haven't played D&D as player. I've run it. That is on the Twitch channel, the mini terrain domain, and I should have the information now in the description below. I did try to make sure that got changed. So if you want to come and join us... Oh, wait, no, this is the Nerdarchy one. So that is on Nerdarchy's channel here on YouTube. Take it back, rewind. I keep thinking it's a different day. I'm thinking of Jake's channel. No, it's going to be on YouTube for Nerdarchy. It's a live stream that they do on their channel. We'd love to have you join us. I might have to buzz out and get some gummy bears to have my jacked up energy going. I'm just going to the back again and doing some more higher work. Still very light, but I'm so much happier with this flush now. I am switching back to my bigger brush. Let's see here. Yeah, he's it's definitely an interesting sculpt, which a lot of these details just sort of went because it was very brown. Where can we find your store? Okay, Alex M., I don't have a technical store. I don't do Etsy. I won't do Etsy, quite frankly, because Etsy and I don't have a nice history together. That's from the crochet years. I do have options up on my website now. I'm still tweaking with the settings because my blogger is being weird. But if it's something where you want to commission me for miniatures, there's an option to get a consultation set up. In fact, I have one right after the stream is done, and we can talk about them and you want to do. I also have options now for a half-hour consultation if you need help with creative aspects to your game creations, NPCs, PCs, settings, plot, that type of thing, as well as terrain and miniature assistance. And I also have an option for a full hour consultation. And this is all through Zoom. In terms of if you want to commission me for pieces, that is absolutely something you can do. Email me at thecraftingmuse.email@gmail.com and I can see what it is you're looking for and we can work through that. But I do not have a set shop, nor will I have a set shop. It's one of those things where I go purely by custom commissions. So, oh, there we go. Now you can see top and bottom difference. It makes a difference. Yes, you could have just stopped at the Beal. But look, it's so beautifully grody. So that's the best way to work with me with getting something started for you if you want to order something. Thank you, Grayson. I love the ears too. My wonderful, thoughtful, considerate patron Scott got them for me as a surprise. I went to my P.O. box and checked it out and was not at all anticipating a thing. And I go and I open it up and there's this little box and I just kind of go, huh? And I opened it up and I saw these beautiful elf ears that have been sitting on my Amazon wish list for a while and I just got giddy. I think I wore them the whole night until I went to bed. Even that was debatable, but no, I love them. They are fantastic. I am so going to put these to use for things like conventions and when I do my DM work on Cobalt Press, for sure. Look at his belly now. See, the belly had all of these grody like stretch marks and welts and boils and all this stuff that was just not translating through, and now look at that grodiness. I love it. I love it. Okay, great. Hello, Dan Dunn. Oh, well, thank you. Heat. I wish I had that problem. What heat? How do you have heat? Where are you? Can you share the heat? Same thing with the legs. The legs have all these awesome details that are just getting a little bit muted down, but they are totally there, folks. Just gonna go through. And I'm going very lightly with my hand here, and it's just popping out all those grody, lovely, disgusting bits of corpulent, poisonous, venomous troll skin. Yeah. I'm very happy with how this is working itself out. I'm going to get a little up close and personal here, darling. Now, for this space, I probably will do a similar thing like what I did with the ogre, in terms of just giving the base some textured paint and then slapping on some grasses. I might use the more vivid green grasses just to kind of hint towards a swampy environment. But yeah, this is far more on the mark of what I had envisioned for this fellow. Oh my gosh, there's so much back here that just got lost in the browns. Australia. Okay, well that makes sense. That makes total sense. Yes, you would have warmer weather right now. Man. The joke was at PAX, I'm a lizard. I love being warm and I get cold so easily, it's stupid. There were some halls where panels were happening. All it took was a draft and I was a little shaking like a chihuahua. To the point my friends are like, we're gonna just bundle you up. It's like, please don't, I'm okay. And then sure enough, someone would loan me something to keep me warm. Yeah, this big feller, he's got details that are there and you can see them with your own eye up close. But to really pop it out later, I mean, look at all that. Look at all that fantastic ickiness. It's just too perfect to leave it go by. And I also am doing this so that it goes over this veining work because I don't like how the veins were so stark. It almost looked more like tribal tattoos gone wrong, which is why I'm letting this go over that so it looks like it's beneath the surface of the skin now. A little trick with tattoos, if you go to do tattoo work, go back and take the color you've painted the skin and really thin it out, and then you put it over the tattoo area and it looks like it's a tattoo. Just under the surface of the skin tattoo. Here's the thing, I could sit here and bring out more details and more details and more details. This could be one where I'd lose myself just because there's so many little bits and nooks and crannies. But this I am far happier with the look of now. I just am going to go back in and add some look to the boils. And I'll do something here with the loincloth too, and the hair. But this has made a big difference. It just completely changes it. And there's all this detail that was just sitting there. Potential. Great potential. You just need to get a little extra love. This would probably be a guy you could get done in under an hour. You know, including the dry time for the wash. So something to keep in mind. There you go. Oh, geez. What are you guys talking about? Asphalts. No. That's where my skin goes squidgy on me. Okay, so now what I'm going to do for the boil. Oh, boil. I'm going to go in with lemon chiffon. Kid you not. Limeade and lemon chiffon. I sound like this southern lady offering you some desserts, only it's going on the troll skin. You gotta love it. I like this one because it does really look... Oh, it's going to be too... Here we go. It looks close to pus, which is why I like it. See, if it's making your stomach... Like, if I have to do this looking at it, I know I'm like, okay, I'm on the right track. You should see me when I have to paint zombies. I don't like zombies. Do I have a favorite type of music when I'm running a session? I, by default, have to use... What is on a Roll20? Audio Tabletop, I think is what it's called. I think that's what it's called. That's what I use, and I have to use what music is there and available. If it's just home stuff, I'll just go into YouTube and pull together a playlist of different songs that fit the theme of what I'm doing. So now I'm going in and I'm just taking this lemon chiffon and I am putting it on the tips of the boils. So they look almost ready to pop. Told you, it is hysterical, these color names. But, you know, good old plaid. They keep me well in my paints. That's a new one. Paints. And it gives me a lot of variety to work with, which I like. Okay, so these are like all... A couple here. I'm going to be a little bit more methodical here. And I'm looking for... Okay, that's like all stretch marky stuff. I think this is another one. That could be one right there too. So yeah, look at this. Ew, it's grody. I don't know why this stuff gives me such a kick. It's I'm grossing myself out, but I'm also thoroughly enjoying the grossness of this. Da, 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 da. And then the shoulders definitely had a whole bunch going on that I'll need to look into. Yeah. It's kind of like Austin Powers, moly, 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 moly. This is boily, 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 boily. Sirenscape is another good one. Mac Attack, thanks for bringing that one up. That was good. I forgot about them. Again, it's ones that I don't really end up using because of what I have to use for when I'm streaming with Kobold. Jake likes to use TeknoAxe. He's who I use for my streaming here. All this has been TeknoAxe. Because very good about making sure... I'm going to do my quick little trick here. He's good about making sure you get a written... That's just it. I wanted like fresh to burst looking. I didn't want just under this. I wanted like, you're going to touch this guy, any grays or whatever, and out it comes. I really wanted this to be pustules ripe for the breaking. Ugh. It's so vile. It's so vile, so disgusting, and hysterical all at the same time. Oh, these are... Here we go. A little one there. A little bit there. This one looks like a lot more of just like striations and stretching and folding of the skin. I'm not really seeing... Oh, here we go. Here's a couple little boils. little boils. You little boys need love too. And the forearm now. I don't know so much the forearm area. I'll go back to looking at that one. I'm seeing a couple here on the leg again. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. He's so greasy. Yeah, I guess I'll do one. I'm going to put one right here. I feel like it needs one right there. Whoops, on the shoulder. It's a perfect, I'm telling you, the name is hysterical, lemon chiffon, but it gets that pussy tone to it. I just made it difficult for myself to swallow saying that. Like it's triggering the gag reflex. Let's make this one a nice big one about to pop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this lemon chiffon on, since it's such a big one, and I'm just going to blot with my fingertip so it's not as intense. Tucks it just a little bit under the surface effect. Cue the whiteheads. Yep. Pretty much. Oh, this is totally making me queasy. Merry Christmas, beep. Hello, big brother. You're joining us at a rather, queasy time. We're painting boils on our Venom troll here. Oh, there's a couple here on the leg. Let me get that going. So yes, the next convention I will be at is going to be ECCC in Seattle. I don't have anything scheduled there. Of course, last time I said that about other ones, that can change quickly. So do keep that in mind if you will be attending. I think I'm getting to the point where I'm happy. I don't know if I want to do much more. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it on the boils. I don't want to overdo it. But I'm happy with how this looks now, with those about to go and kablooey. Okay, so let me get, I do want to get the teeth. His teeth need some addressing. There goes gifts. Okay, I'm not going to do lovely, lovely clean teeth, so I'm going to go to sandstone and just lightly go across the teeth with this. So I do need a slightly different brush. Not you. I don't like you. You don't do nice things for me. Alright, so I'm jumping over to my plaid. That's the one. The 10 over 1. 10 over 0. Why 1? Nope. And then I'm just going to lightly put a little bit onto the tip of the paintbrush here. Just use my thumbnail to spread it out a little bit. And then I'm just going to go in. And we do have these teeth. Just very, very lightly. Smile for the camera. I want to name him Bertram. I don't know why. I just feel like Bertram would be a good name for this dude. Smile for the camera, Bertram. There we go. Now we have the teeth. Hold on, I'm pulling out a frame so I can get a better look. It's pretty much mostly the teeth there. And then I do want to do the eyes. Oh, he's going to get sprayed with gloss. I want the whole skin to have like this amphibious gloss to it. I'm thinking like a cool yellow for the eyes. Like jaundiced eyes is what I'm thinking here. Hold on. Oh, yes, you come here. Come play, come play, come play. Pale daffodil. Which I actually think that I have 2 bottles of pale daffodil. Whoops. Alright, I'm going to use pale daffodil on the eyes. I mean, this guy can definitely get a lot more detail work. I'm just showing what's feasible to pull off in a little bit amount of time. Alright, so I'm going to go in and... yeah, because his eyes are getting lost in the wash and everything. There's one eye. There's 2. Now remember, a lot of times what helps with doing eyes, because sometimes you can go if you're not careful. What I just did is I purposely flipped him upside down because it helps your brain mentally disconnect the symmetry of a face. And if you can make the brain stop realizing it's a face, it's suddenly a lot easier to see the symmetry in the eye itself and how the eyes are mapped out. So if you're having a real hard time with your eyes, hold your fellows upside down and it will make a big difference for you. You'd be surprised. So that's why I just flipped him over. Usually what I'll do is I get the first eye set and then I will go back and do the second. I'm just going back and checking it out. I do want to add a little bit more to that one side. So that's just something to kind of help out with the eye things. How do you know it's a him? We don't. We've just dubbed it a him. It. They. It's where we landed. Okay, I'm going to let those dry before I do any pupil work. Now I do want to get to the loincloth, and I am just going to do some dry brushing with chestnut because I want it to look like dirty cloth. Monsters aren't shiny. Oh, you have to see many of my monsters. Many of my monsters will have a gloss to them, especially if they're like from swampy, watery areas. I love doing that. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Thank you very much, Johnny Cooper. I just saw you jump in. That's very kind of you to say. Happy holidays to you as well. All right, so I'm going to go in with chestnut. That old chestnut. Put you up there. All right, Daffy. And then I am going to go back to, let me rinse the brush. I'm going to go back to the chisel tip brush from Plaid that I have, that I like and I love. Doo-doo-doo. Okay. And then I'm just going to take some of this chestnut, again, dry brushing it. All right, here we go with the loincloth. So that looks like it's got spots of dirt and such going on, which is what I wanted. Instead of just a flat black. So that gets kind of boring on the table. Now it's looking like old, beat up, dirty animal hide instead. It's definitely going to be a couple passes of doing this. As you can see, it just gives it a different look altogether. Now, I didn't do a wash on the loincloth yet, so that one I'll definitely do another round of Agrax. But I'm not going to do anything further to his skin. But that's more the look I wanted. Get it more dirty. You need to find a company to make a range of sweet, sweet paintbrushes for you. Honestly, Dan, Plaid, I love their paintbrushes. They do a really great job with them, both for terrain and miniature work. Your stomach, yeah, mine is too, believe it or not. I'm like, I was hungry before I started the stream. Now I'm not so sure. Now I'm not so sure. This guy has just a little underneath the tummy. Oh, God. Yeah, gag reflex is kicking in looking at certain areas of him now. I am far too visual of a person. Pull it back up into frame. There we go. There we go. So now we have... Oh, let me get the back here. If I can reach. I'm not going to go as intense for the underside areas, but I do want to get those just a little bit. I don't want them that pure pavement color. Quite frankly, looking between the legs, this could just be a eunuch. There's nothing there, literally. Well, congratulations, Johnny. Have a lovely, restful break then. Truly, truly, truly. Okay, so that takes care of the loincloth. And now we just need to address the hair. The hair, I am going to do a pavement dry brush because the hair itself is black. And pavement's just a step up from black, which is all I need. I don't need to be too drastic of a color. I also don't want to make him look like a graybeard troll, like an old one. Not there with that. That's not my goal. Oh, God, I don't want to think about the smell. Let's watch V make herself ill because she painted the troll a little too grody. Wouldn't that be funny? Pardon me, folks. I need to go off screen for a second. So I'm going to take pavement, and I'm just going to dry brush that. And again, this troll has sort of a dreadlock hair to it. So just quickly going through to do this. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go back and take care of that ear. I forgot he had that ear that was painted black I wanted to fix. So right now, this is just pavement going on. I'm not going to do too crazy detail. It's enough to make it pop out better. What I am going to do is right here along the face. And I knew that was going to happen. I got some green, so I want to just get some pavement added back into that. Let me load more of my brush. Bear with me. There we go. To derm. Oh, you are so grody looking, and I love it. Same thing over here. There are a couple spots that picked up a little green, and that sort of is the nature of the beast. That's why I tend to do hair last. A couple little more touches here and there. Yeah, need more paint on my brush. Doo-doo-doo. There we go. Oh, we gotta get those pupils in there. Oh, I am kind of liking this crazed yellow-eyed look. Am I happy with that? I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm good with that. Okay, so that's giving the hair just a little bit more definition. I want to fix these ears because they got, in pre-paint, they got blackened out. I forgot about that. Be tempted to paint a metallic on his teeth. Now on stream, V hurling. Please, dear God, no. V grossing herself out. Yes, hurling. Let's not go there. So I'm going to go back into Limeade. Just put a little bit on a fine tip brush. And the back of these ears here, I'm just going to very carefully just bring those edges back out. Because that definitely got lost a little bit. Hold on, I gotta find a good position. No pupils. People don't, I could make it so the eyes kind of glow. Could do that. That could be kind of fun and creepy. If I put like a copper on top of his eyes. Mike, you're too sweet. I appreciate your help with this signal boosting, Mike. I do. YouTube is definitely keeping everyone on their feet lately, so, whoops. Frame. There we go. That's better. See, now we can see the ears more. Tudderm. Ugh. Oh, you are disgusting. No pupils. The eyes look diseased and... I know what I can put on it. Hold on. My pearlized stuff. Hold on. Like I did on my grody beholder. So I have to find it. Here we go. Alright, so I have this pearlizing edition. Again, this is also from Plaid. And it's just, it's basically, it makes a paint pearlized. It's also old. I don't know if they still make it. This is the other problem. So I'm just going to, oh, screw it. And I can't get the lid open. I'm just going to put a little dot. So it looks white, but if you mix it in with different things, it, hold on. I'm about to lose an ear. Not really. There we go. But if you put it on top of things, it kind of gives it like a sickly, milky color, I found. Or if you mix it in with paint. I don't want it to be too much, but I do want it to get on there. So I'm going to try that and see. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Oh, he looks like he's got rotting eyes now. Like those blind, milky white eyes. I will grab my other mini with a bigger eye so you can see what this does. But that, yeah, now he's got like the milky white, shimmery, ugly. Because it's got a white tone to it now, of course, it's getting flare out. Let me grab the zombie beholder thingy I have. TeknoAxe, yeah. Hold on. I'll be back. It's not too far. Question is, can I find it right away? Here it is. Aha! Okay, so. This is the same technique with a yellow underneath and this pearlized agent on top. And you just get this sickly, milky, shiny, ugly cataract eyes because of it. So he has that effect going on now, but it's so small, the camera's making it look like it's just white. But that's what it looks like on a smaller scale. I'm just pulling all these different minis for you guys today. So there's that. But I'm quite pleased with this fellow. Oh my god. He's so gross. So beautifully gross. But again, it's a sculpt that had some awesome details on it. You just need to help bring them out. And that was just doing a wash and then doing some dry brushing and hello, how are ya? So I'm going to set him aside and we're going up on the 1 o'clock. So actually, no, what I'll do is I'm going to do the base on this fellow so you can see how it was done. I still have this summer Eladrin, however you want to pronounce it, darlings. This one's going to take a lot more detail and time because I have a lot of paints out. So this is one I might revisit later on down the line. So let's finish our Venom troll. All right, that's going to be our goal. I'll show you how I did the base for the ogre by doing it on the Venom troll. And then we'll call this stream done. And yeah, let's do that. So pull out the textured paint again. And I do recommend when you use the textured paint, don't use a good brush. Use a brush you're ready to say bye-bye to. Oh, and these guys are done. All right, hold on before we do that. Okay, he's dry. Look at the difference that gave with just the Nuln. This one is also dry, and look at the difference with just the Agrax. So Agrax obviously has the brown undertones going to it, but definitely helps bring out more of these details so that this mini you can plunk down on the table and get a far better sense of the detail than what was there before. If you just want to do a quick touch-up, that's the point of these two. If you want to just do quickly something to make them a little bit more enhanced, then go for it. But this guy, the Nuln oil, made a huge difference because of all these fantastic details that are in this miniature sculpt. So these pre-painted minis, they really do have a lot you can work with. I know in the past sometimes they've gotten this reputation of not really being what they are, but they are... I would recommend these in a heartbeat. Look at the difference with this guy. I mean, he looks pretty darn good now, if I do say so myself. All right, so back to what we're doing. Textured paint. Ta-da! So I use a really old brush, and I also use a brush with a smaller head to it. It's just easier to control. So I'm going to start globbing this on, and just be careful, especially when you have dangling things like loincloths and whatnots. Just very carefully work it towards the feet. You can even push it up on the feet so it looks like its feet are sinking into it if you want. But I just take the paint and I move it around. And the nice thing is that if you get the coverage right, you don't even have to go back and paint the full thing. You can actually just, I was going to say airbrush it, dry brush the surface, because I'll show you something else I do once I get this well covered. Because right now it looks like, although I kind of like this muddy look, I might keep the muddy swirls going. That I'm liking the effect of. So this kind of looks like they're standing on the edge of swamp, which I'm kind of liking. And again, just sort of pop it around here, carefully around the toes. I don't want to get those claws covered up. Down at the bayou. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just sort of stippling my brush along where there is paint. This textured paint. Just to get it a little bit more evenly covered. Okay, that takes care of the front. Alright, Puddin', thank you so much. good to see you. Happy holidays. And if I don't speak to you on the socials before that, Happy New Year. Quite frankly, I'm probably going to jump into the new year in the second week in January with doing things. I don't want to jump in right after New Year's itself. Give myself a little bit of wiggle room, you know? Same thing. I'm just carefully working this up with the paintbrush. Don't want to smoosh. Not out to smush it. And again, I'm just sort of stippling the rest of it around. Merry Scroogemas. But yeah, I think I'm seeing this more as like they're standing in sort of a swirl of mucky, murky mud. So I will definitely keep this more... Like, you know how sand looks when the tide goes out? That type of thing. Like, there's just this surface of water that sort of went over it and receded. So we have like these swirly bits of mud going on. Okay, so that is on. And then what I do right away, because I use this sort of has a sticky quality to it. Tonight on Nerdarchy, we start at 8. Okay, so come join us over at Nerdarchy, 8 p.m. Some other fantastic players and myself, and Nerdarchy's Ted is our DM. It's a lot of fun. It's a very dynamic group of players, and it's just very beer and pretzels and goofy, and it's my once a month. Okay, this is going to be crazy fun. So please do come and see us over there tonight. I would love to have you join us. Thank you, Mac Attack. And Grayson, thank you so much. Happy holidays to you. Thank you for keeping us company as well. All right, now I'm going to go over to my army painters, and I'm going to use... I don't use that one. I'm going to use this one, which has more of like a vivid green to it, by Dungeon Matron, and this one. Once I get these grasses on, I'm actually going to call it too. But, well, that's just it. I want him standing in something... Blech. He's supposed to be gross and disgusting. All right, let me get this open. Okay, so these are the brighter greens, which I kind of want to play off of the green in this guy. So I'm not gonna, I don't know, do I want to go for the massive tufts? Yeah, I'll do like one big one towards the front. So I just take a pair of pliers and then carefully picking this up. I'm going to aim for the front area here, and I'm just going to plunk this down into the paint, because when the paint dries, it's going to help it stick. Now, these do have some adhesive to themselves, but I find by smooshing it into the paint, it holds it that much more. So now I have that first little tuft in there. Remember how I talked about working in threes? Now I'm going to take 2 more tufts, 2 in the back. So I'll take a smaller one. I'll take 2 smaller ones because 2 came out stuck together. Ah, thank you very much, Shannon. Mud wrestling opponent. Oh God, Viper, right? All right, so back here, I'm going to put a tuft there, behind a foot, and another one like right over here. So now I have sort of a little triangle going on. Again, just sort of wiggle it into the paint, because then as the paint dries, it'll hold the grass in place. So ta-da! He needs a pet pig. God knows I have pigs. I have pig miniatures. But wouldn't that be funny? The pig that pulls the cart of all the good, yummy fruits and stuff. And now we have our our troll as its owner. Good lord, that's a story and a half. Okay, so I'm gonna take this one. This I like because you sort of had like the darker soil look to it, but the lighter tips of the grass. Again, this is Army Painter. I'm gonna use smaller tufts though. And kind of the same thing. I'm going to keep these close to each other. It's like that, you can see. Same thing, put one over here. Oop. Ta-dum! I'm going to put 2 small ones on either side on this guy. In the front. 2 came off together. That's so helpful. Here we go, one there. And one up here. I need to put that on the table, sorry, but had to do it. Okay, so there we have our tufts of grass happening. And then with these guys, I think I'm going to put, remember how I talked about in 3s? I'm not liking how it looks like 4-4. That type of look. So I'm going to take more of these tufts and place one on either side. Because I do like this darker grass. I like how that's looking. So I'm doing a couple more tufts. And you're going to go live there. And I do need to put this down on the table because it's a little bit more fine work. But you can see how I just did that instead. And it just sort of balances things a little bit more. But there we have the grass tufts on this guy. Look at how gross he is. I love it. What I will probably do is once this paint dries is I'm going to put on some Agrax onto the soil itself to make it look more murky, muddy. But that is essentially how to quickly redo a base so it's not just the flat black. And our troll fellow with the cataract milky white eyes and the lemon chiffon pustules and all this ickiness, he's all pulled together. It's come a long way from coming out of that bubble wrap, huh? But again, these are really well sculpted miniatures. Sometimes the paint's a little bit more flat, but there's a lot you can do to work with it to bring it back out. And that's the whole point to these past couple streams. I want people to realize you can take paint and brush and other little techniques and really enhance these without having to do stripping. Or you could opt to strip them if you want to and get a miniature that has fantastic detail that you can bring back out with your own custom paint job. So that's my lesson for you for the end of the year. I can't believe this is the end of 2019. So yeah, this is where I'm going to call it quits on him because he's going to have to dry now. That base has to dry before I do anything further with it. But thank you, as always, so much for joining me. I love our little live streams together. They're a lot of fun to do. And I love seeing the regulars in the chats as well. It's always fun. So, whatever it is you are doing during the next couple weeks, please be safe. Please take care of yourselves. Hopefully get some time with friends who are like family, family who are like friends. If you're working, thank you so much for working during this time of year. It is very much appreciated. Even if others may not express it, to you I say thank you so much. I have high respect for those of you working through the holiday season. And I will see you tonight over on Nerdarchy, 8 p.m. for our RPG Crate, Season 4, Episode 3. And then I will see you in the new year, both over on the Cobalt Press Twitch channel, as well as for here on my channel, and over on MTT's Mini Train Domain on his Twitch channel as well. So take care, everyone. Much love, peace, and blessings to all of you. And take care of yourselves. And please say hi on the other side, because I do like hearing from you there as well. So bye-bye, everyone. See you in 2020. Bye-bye.